Hi, I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop. Well, this week we decided we're going to do something a little different. We haven't had a group hangout in some time, but this week we're going to get lots of people in because we're using something a little bit different.
Yeah, and this time we can have a whole lot more of you in there, so it should be a lot of fun. Send your emails to ewabshop@gmail.com if you'd like to be on the list, and that way you can join us in the hangout. It's going to be for you, the fans. It'll be a lot of fun.
And I might be rolling in late, but I'll definitely try to be there to join all of you. 25 of you. That's East-West Audio Body Shop. Monday night, 9 o'clock in the East.
And 6 o'clock in the West.
And we'll see all of you there.
He's the home voiceover studio engineer to the stars in Los Angeles, California. A Virginia Tech grad whose knowledge of the latest recording gear is second to none. He's a voice actor and the home studio master, hailing from Buffalo, New York. His home studio skills and knowledge of voiceover recording is unmatched. When Dan and George talk shop, people listen, and the talk continues tonight. Welcome to East-West Audio Body Shop. And now, live from his high-tech facility in Santa Monica and his penthouse studio in Buffalo, here are George Whittam and Dan Leonard.
Hi, I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop. All right, is it working now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, that's good.
User error,
Good
as
evening,
usual.
everybody. How is it going out there? We have people from all four corners of the globe joining us in our chat room tonight. This is the first fan hangout we've had in some time.
It is.
Because we've had so many fabulous guests in the last few months, and so we thought.
Sorry about that.
What?
One of our fans popped in there.
Oh, okay. And of course, if you're in the chat room and want to join us, let us know. Can you throw an invite in the chat room there too?
I already did.
Oh, okay. We'll throw another one in there.
2 times.
Because I see Deb Irwin, and I want Deb Irwin in here.
Yep, put it in there twice.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And Karen O'Brien, who joins us every time and all that stuff. Now, there's no rules tonight, except that we control the microphones and the cameras.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. Until JS gets in charge here. And then all bets are off. But we have a lot of folks with us tonight, and it's going to be lots of fun. People can ask questions. You can make comments as long as they're semi-clean. This is not a network program, so there are no censors. Although I noticed that my Beatles picture invite got yanked off by Facebook.
Oh.
Suddenly it was like, wait a second, what happened to the Sgt. Pepper
Never
picture?
believe that Facebook is not highly censored.
Apparently it is.
Yeah.
Although it did look good while it was up there. Did everybody see the invite with the...
Yeah, it was cool for the minute it was up there.
For the minute it was up, someone's like, get rid of that. $10,000 in royalties if you use that picture. Oh, didn't know.
Oops.
All right. So let's first off, let's see what's going on.
You want to go
here.
around the horn, and as we go around, we'll just unmute people?
Yeah, we could do that. Just state your name, where you're from, what you do for a living, and if it's other than voiceover, then we're going to kick you right out.
Where should we start? Should we go alphabetical order?
If it's in alphabetical order.
Well, in my participant list, it is.
Well, then go for it.
All right, let's start with Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy Snively, and I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm a voice talent.
Yay.
Are you sure?
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Happy to be here.
What part of you're in Los Angeles area. That's right. Excellent. And let me go back to every time I click out of that window, I lose my participant list. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. Moving down the list, we've got our chat room moderator, Anthony.
Yo, Anthony Gettig. I am in Lorien, Michigan. If you've ever been here, you are a world traveler.
I've actually been there.
You are a world traveler, Dan.
Well,
Pretty much in the middle of Lake Superior. Look it up on the map. And I'm a full-time voiceover talent.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. We already know Dan. Then we got Dave.
Whoa. I have.
But Dan has a buddy
not
tonight.
as friendly to me.
No. He's mad because I forgot to introduce him.
Oh yes, this is Conrad the Conyer. So you can say hi, Conrad. There you go. Good boy. All right. Not sure what he is, but he's a bird.
So thanks for joining us, Conrad. Speak.
Say something. Say something.
Okay. Next on our illustrious list, we've got, Steve butted in, so we might as well have Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hello.
You're on, buddy.
Am I on?
You're live.
We can't
I'm
hear you.
live. This works.
Steve, where are you?
Steve.
State your name and where you're from and what you do.
This is Steve Tardio, getting ready to move into New York City next month, and I'm a voiceover actor.
Well, thanks for joining us. Next
What a
on the
concept.
list, Dave Smith. We got to get through this list, man. It's huge. Dave
It's gonna be
Smith.
10:30 by the time we do that.
That'd be little old me from Henderson, Nevada, of course. And right now, I'm a full-time corporate pilot and part-time VO talent. I want to switch that around here by the end of the year. Maybe we'll see.
Well, you know what? I think pilots have a huge advantage over mere mortals when it comes to getting into VO. So
Yeah,
I think
really.
you got a good shot at it.
Thank you. We'll see. Well, I'm working on it.
Good deal, man.
No, he sounds like a pilot. You know, it's like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. On
your right.
It's
You'll
perfect.
see a sea of glimmering trailer homes. Going down the list, Diana Birdsall.
You can say hello, Diana.
Can you hear me? Am I muted?
Yes, you're unmuted.
Sort of.
I'm unmuted. How are you?
Great. Thanks for joining us. Where are you?
Huntington Beach, California, just down the street.
Design.
George.
Ooh,
Woo!
wonderful.
And you
community.
do voiceover.
I do voiceover. Yes. I'm starting my training with Terry Daniel this Wednesday.
All right. I read that on the Facebooks.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes.
Excited.
Going down the list, Edward. Edward, you are unmuted. Hey, Edward.
Thank you. My name is Ed Waldorf, late of Detroit, Michigan, San Francisco, California, and now LA, Lower Alabama. I'm a voice talent.
Thanks for joining us.
That's right. You probably have the UCLA there, too. University of Calhoun. Located at the airport.
We have one university down here.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Coming up next, JS Gilbert.
Gilbert.
I'm J.S. Gilbert in South San Francisco, and I'm the second most dangerous man in voiceover.
Thanks for joining us tonight, JS. After
I'll have to figure out
JS,
who the first is, though.
after JS, we have Samsung SGHI 747. Say hello.
Oh my God, is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, okay, I'm Bill Lord, Alexandria, Virginia, in the middle of a power outage.
Oh.
Wow.
So you're on your mobile.
Yeah.
Right
Just
on,
waiting
man.
for the lights to...
He's on his Samsung. Okay.
Are you in a Galaxy S4?
Crank.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for joining us by hook or by crook. Awesome. I love it.
Samsung's rule.
Yeah, that's right. I got one too. Scott Chambers. You are unmuted, my friend.
Good evening, Scott Chambers. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
All right, Scott. Thanks. If you are watching the show on the side, make sure you mute it if we bring you into the show because it gets crazy. Turn on your radio, as Dan always says. Shelly Avellino.
Hi guys, I'm Shelley Avellino. At the moment, I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, I used to live
Originally, it's nice, actually. Originally from Wales in the UK, and I stand in a padded room all day in my pajamas. That's what I do.
All
Beautiful.
right.
Thanks for coming in today.
Great to see you guys.
Steven Gonzalez.
How y'all doing? I'm Steven Gonzalez. I am also from LA, Baton Rouge, LA, that is. I'm a full-time part-time VO, and hopefully someday it'll swap around.
Excellent. I'm muting you all because you're all making noise.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm way too busy to do any work for you.
Okay, we got Steve Tardio, but last but certainly not least is Ted McAleer. Ted.
Amazingly enough, still alive at 3:12 in the morning from Sevilla, Spain.
No video, but that's
I had to
okay.
kinda
We'll
make
take
one. 3:12 works. I'm waiting on some auditions to come back. I sent some off and get them checked out and popped up and ready to go in for tomorrow morning.
Well, you're very glitchy, but we just about made out what you just said. So that's good. If you want to restart and rejoin, maybe that'll help. We don't know. But thanks for trying.
I'll give that a shot.
Thanks for trying anyway, man. All right. I muted you, Dan.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So that was the first segment of the show. Now we can go to commercial. And there's a lot of people.
Wait, we've still got Carrie here.
I missed somebody.
Who hasn't figured out how to put their camera on yet.
We'll try Carrie anyway. Carrie, you there? All right, we'll check in with Carrie after.
She just looks like a crash test dummy right now.
All right, we'll check in with Carrie after the break. All
right, so we're going to take a break, and there's a bunch of you. My God, there's a bunch of you watching. What
are you thinking?
We haven't heard from Larry. Has Larry figured out his microphone yet?
Well, I don't have a microphone I can't. Let me see. Larry,
right,
let's
use
try.
Sign language, Larry. Just
yes.
Yay! We have Larry.
Grab the 2i2, plug it direct in, screw the rest of it. Let's just do this.
Way to go, buddy. Way to pull it out in the clutch.
All right.
Where are you, man?
I'm in LA.
Right on. And you happen to be a voice actor?
I am a voice actor.
Very good. Well, then you're allowed to
artist.
You're allowed to stay. A voice artist, yes.
Yes.
Okay, we've almost got everybody. Carrie, are you in? I have you unmuted, so if you do talk, we'll hear you.
Yeah. Did we hear from Andy yet?
Oh, Andy Kaufman?
Yeah.
I don't remember. There's too many people. Let's unmute. Hi, Andy.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. This is so much better than what we've been using.
This is so cool.
This is better than the Brady Bunch.
This is really, really cool.
Brady crowd.
I'm trying to find which shot is Andy. Wait a minute. We got somebody else in there now.
Yeah,
Andy
Jerry
Kaufman.
Reed has joined us.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Andy.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
It is. Thanks for coming in. Jerry Reed is another new one. Let's add Jerry in. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, everyone. Jerry Reed up in the upstate New York area, a little east of Syracuse, a lot east of Dan.
Yeah, I was just driving by there this afternoon. Got a little bit of rain, didn't we?
Yeah, a little bit. We scouted around, got around most of it today.
Thanks for joining in at the last minute there, Jerry.
Well, I had to change to the tablet.
Well, I'm glad one of the things worked that you had.
There's always something. Next it's going to be everybody's watch that we're going to be doing this on. Dick Tracy calling.
I just put the Brady Bunch view up so everybody can see what it really looks like from our point of view. It's awesome. This is by far the most. By far the most people we've ever had in one Hangout. So it's going to be a blast. So everybody think about something you might want to talk about during the break, and we'll come right back and we'll make this feel like a show.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And now, back to East West Audio Body Shop, where every week it's Apollo 13.
Yeah, and you know something? If we were in a spaceship, this is the people I'd like to have with us on the spaceship, because we would all sound so good no matter what.
Well put.
We wouldn't survive long, but we'd sound good doing not surviving long. Most important thing here. Anyway, welcome to our. Yeah, we have to welcome Lee Pinney into the room too. So unmute Lee for a second.
I will. Hang on. Where we got Lee? There he is.
He's
Hey,
down at the
Lee.
bottom there somewhere.
Hey,
Down.
guys. Hi,
Nice
Dan.
to see you. Nice to see you. Where are you joining us from?
I am joining you from our lovely Costa Mesa studios. I don't know if you can even hear me.
California. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. I've got my helper grabbing the headset so I can listen to the other audio. It sounds better.
Oh, okay. Very good. All right. Well, first off, now that we've got you all here, we need to open the floor up to Amy Snively, who has an announcement for all of you folks. So unmute Amy.
All right. It's a big list. I have to scroll to get up there.
Yes, it starts with an A. There you go.
Hi.
All right, welcome back. Now, you've got a special offer for all us EWABS viewers, do you not? Dealing
Yes.
with FaffCamp.
Right. Well, as a lot of people probably already know, FaffCamp is registration is open right now, and we're doing it Kickstarter style. And if we reach our attendee target, then we sign with the hotel and FaffCamp happens. If we do not hit that target by midnight on July 10, sadly, everybody gets their money back and there will be not a FaffCamp. So that's a sad thing. But
I think it's a brilliant idea. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. So the thing is that if you are an EWABS fan, you can use a special $25 off code, which is all caps EWABS, which will be easy to remember. And you will get $25 off your FaffCamp Kickstarter registration. Then another magical thing happens. In your registration confirmation that comes to you by email, you will get a code that is your personal promo code that you can promote to your acting class, your meetup group, your pals on Facebook, everybody in your improv troupe, whatever. And you can promote that code, and all of those people will get $25 off their registration. And for each person who uses your personal code, you will also get a $25 rebate on your registration up to $350 off. So
Holy
if
cow.
you had 14 pals sign up for FaffCamp, you would go for free. So it's kind of fun. It's called viral ticketing. And we just thought that it might inspire people to get the word out so that we can, so poor little Faffy can sleep at night and we can get to our target in time. And the suspense is killing me. So we're doing a kind of gamifying FaffCamp registration.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
It is. And now, how is FaffCamp going to be different from, say, FaffCon that all us big boys been going to?
Well, it's actually extremely similar. And one of the things that we found the most surprising and awesome on the post FaffCamp 1 survey was how many people said that they actually liked FaffCamp better, which that was shocking. But FaffCamp has 2 tracks, Starting Smart and Working Pro. So there's no vetting committee. If you want to come to FaffCamp, if you're a promising newcomer or a grizzled vet, you can come to FaffCamp because there'll be, the kind of content that you want will be there. We also have some special things we only do at FaffCamp, like lightning talks and topic tables. And the thing that is really totally awesome about FaffCamp from my perspective is that the agenda is set in advance. All of the sessions are set before we get to FaffCamp. So the speakers have an opportunity to prepare and make handouts and make slides and do research. And so the presentations are get a little bit they're not off the cuff. They're planned but not canned. They're
right.
So the content was like really superior. I was just stunned at how FaffCamp topic sessions are just really amazing. But, you know, and the other thing is that FaffCamp, we have so few FaffCons now. And FaffCon 7, we have the largest standby list we've ever had because we sold out in record time. And there's been zero movement on the standby list. Everybody who was on the standby list is still on the standby list. And nobody's budging because there's so few FaffCons left. We really felt like we needed to open up, have another FaffCamp so that we were not leaving people out. So, and the other thing that's really amazing is that people who are frequent Faffers have the opportunity to influence bright industry newcomers earlier in their career. And that helps us to kind of the rising tide lifts all boats thing. We can impact people with what I wish I'd known when I was starting out stories. And it helps to preserve, you know, by coming to FaffCamp, you can have the chance to help preserve our way of making a living by, you know, helping brand new people not to be a lowballer, not to end up on Fiverr, you know, to help them understand best practices and professional standards. I think it's an amazing thing.
I do too. Having been to almost all FaffCons, except the first one in Portland, which I sadly missed, but the rest have been nothing short of spectacular and fun stuff. And FaffCamp is a little bit different, but not a whole lot different. I suggest if you want to go, I would suggest that you go over to FaffCamp.com and register and use that EWABS code, right?
Yes, please do. And here's another really kind of cool thing. You can take up to 6 months to pay for your FaffCamp registration. Regular registration, Kickstarter registration is $375. It goes up to $449 on July 12. But you can take up to 6 months to pay, no interest. When you get to the payment page, just say yes, that you want to do that. And so, you know.
All right, excellent. Anybody got any questions for Amy?
Anybody in the Hangout? Anybody in the chat room?
Hold your peace.
Well, if anything comes up during the show, if anybody has a question, we'll.
Yeah, I think Anthony has a question.
What's a question, Anthony?
But we have to unmute Anthony. It takes George about an hour to figure out
unmute
where
himself.
Anthony is to unmute him. But
Anthony,
unmute Anthony.
I'll unmute him. Go ahead, Anthony.
Okay. Hey, not so much a question, but just really an encouragement. I went to FaffCamp last year, and I just what Amy was saying. I mean, both. Did you say grizzled veterans? I think that's what you said.
I might have.
Devox in the chat room was saying he was feeling grizzled. But also folks that are new to the industry, I would encourage everyone from both ends of the spectrum really to check it out, because there really is a lot of great content there. The thing is, you know, just like you said, Amy, if we want to keep our rates up where they really should be, like for instance, Sean Caldwell was at FaffCamp, did a fantastic presentation on rates.
Yeah.
I mean, really a great presentation. So those that are thinking, I'm going to FaffCon, I don't need to go to FaffCamp. No, seriously, man. I mean, if you've been in the industry for a while, you are needed at FaffCamp to help the people who are new to the industry. And if you're new to this whole thing, you need to be there so that you can talk to people who have, I mean, they're going to save you a lot of time and effort in your business of voiceover. So just really an exhortation, you know, as someone who has been there, to make your way there. I got to go last year and represent Dan, actually.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was great.
But you know, there are sessions that are really, really high level for people who are, you know, have been doing this for 20 years. I mean, there are starting smart sessions, but if you're coming as a working pro, you're not just there to help. You know, you can volunteer to lead a topic table or lead a session if you like, but you can just come and take these sessions, and the content is right where you want it to be. It's FaffCon working pro level content. So because we have the 2 tracks, you don't have newbies asking questions that are slowing down the rest of the room. They're in their own sessions, and they're getting the stuff at their level that they need at their career stage. And you, as a working pro, are getting that stuff that you need to get to the next level. The theme of the event is higher VO Higher Education, HIRE. All of the sessions are focused on practical, actionable advice and tips and strategies that lead to increased income at whichever edge of the spectrum you're on.
All right. So use the promo code EWABS.
Yes.
Save yourself $25 on FaffCamp and do it now. Do you understand?
Yes, right now.
Right. Excellent. All right.
Thanks,
We've
Amy.
got a lot of other people with us here tonight. We want to get to talk with everybody and see what kind of questions everybody has. Does anybody have a question for George or I, or just want to start a general discussion about something? Raise your hand. Larry Hudson.
I'm
Unmute
unmuting
Mr.
you.
Hudson there.
You're ready, Larry.
All right. So my question is this. Been at this a while. I've got my nice interface. You know, things are pretty simple. The one thing that I haven't added to my recording chain is a preamp of some sort. Like, you know, it seems like lots of folks that I know that have 416s really love that they have a separate, other than whatever's, you know, the phantom power coming out of their interface, but an actual preamp. So my question is, what truly is the difference, if any, to go spend, you know, $400 or $500 for a preamp?
Well,
That's
let's
a great
see.
question.
It's a great question, and George and I may have varying opinions on this.
I have several
Always
clients.
valid, by the way.
I mean, I have several clients who are doing just fine as voice actors and, you know, making a living, and they have a 416 plugged into the mic preamp of their Mackie board, just right into the Mackie, you know, line out to an interface, you know, done. So I guess the short answer is no, you don't need it. You know, especially if you're doing all your processing in post, things get more interesting when you're doing ISDN and you really want to send out an audio that's pre-leveled or compressed or in any way processed. Then things get different. You know, maybe then a channel strip could be of advantage to you. But honestly, you know, the preamps in the Mackie board really ain't bad at all. And as long as you have a low noise signal that's clean and accurate. Peter Bishop's chiming in the chat room saying he's got his 416 going right into his Mackie. You know, it's really, it works just fine. It's the differences that you're going to get out of a higher end preamp are so minimal, and it really comes down to some very subtle differences. But I know folks like JS who are audio geeks themselves might have a word or two to say. JS, I see you popping in the chat room. Let me unmute your mic and let me get your little bit of 2 cents on this whole topic.
And then I have about a quarter's worth.
And then Dan next.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too heavy in it. I think what we have now is there's more products on the market really that work well than don't work well.
Yeah.
And it has not been lost on me that on any given day of the week there's somebody out there using one of those blue snowballs that's probably beating me out on an audition. But for situations like gaming, for example, where the audio winds up being heavily processed, there is a huge difference when you're processing the audio and you're using a very high-end mic pre, like a Millennia or a Manley, or there's a lot of them out there, in terms of when that audio might artifact or start to have issues. And that's one particular area where I think, you know, that you'll find that most people that are recording stuff for games want really to have very high-end gear.
Do a lot of game engineers, though, have a compressor or some kind of limiter in the recording chain also as a crutch?
Yeah, but it depends on the processing that they're doing. The other thing, too, is, I mean, I've tried time compression. For example, when I use, behind me, there's a Millennia ST1 in the rack over there, and that goes into an RME board through a light pipe using an Apogee. And on that, the recordings, like if I were recording a radio commercial and it were a little long and I needed to make some space in it, you would hear the difference between running the time machine on that versus, say, running even through my USB Pre 2, which is a pretty high-end, you know, direct USB interface. You probably hit 11% in terms of time reduction with the setup that I have in that rack without getting artifacting, without it sounding warbling, without it sounding bad, as opposed to, say, the USB Pre 2, where you're going to hear that at maybe about 7%. So there are a few things. It again, for the average individual out there, and I would say even many of the people who are above average, it's not going to come into play. But there are instances. There's one other instance where it comes into play, and that is I get flown into LA, I do a voiceover, I come home, and 2 days later, they've decided they've changed the word. And then I tell them, well, you used a Sennheiser 416 and an Avalon 737. I have that here, so I get to record it here, and they can patch it in as opposed to my having to fly back to Los Angeles. So,
yeah.
Anyway, there is that.
There are extenuating
as
circumstances that are probably out of the ordinary, but for sure, for most people, it's probably not going to be a game changer to upgrade the preamp, I would say.
But for the reason why I have all this expensive gear is because I can.
You can, and you like to use it, and it's fun.
Exactly.
If it ain't fun, don't do it.
That's right. Exactly. And if you're into audio and you want to be able, and you know how to use this stuff. Of course, my favorite thing is if you don't know what something does, you probably don't need it.
There's some truth to that.
It's good advice to go by there.
Good point.
When it comes to preamps, I use a preamp for the show because I want a loud signal, and I think that when you're doing live performance and you've got to get the most out of your mic, that a preamp is fairly important. But when you're doing recording, and like George says, clean is better. Whenever you have to when you start using an external preamp, you are adding one analog piece to your entire chain. And that's not necessarily the best of ideas unless you really have a very high-end chain. And we really don't think that it makes that much of a difference. That anybody that is your average producer, and most of them, we like to think of them as beyond Neanderthal, not much, but I know there's probably a bunch of producers out there. They can't. 99% of the people can't tell the difference, and 98% of those 99% are the people doing the hiring. So I generally, it doesn't seem to bother. Nobody seems to complain about our audio. And Ted McAleer was asking, even though we can't hear him all the way from Spain, he was saying, "You want it warm."
What does that mean, Ted?
You want it warm? Turn up the furnace.
Ted,
come on now.
Ted, tell us what that means. You want it warm. Yeah. What does that mean? You there, Ted?
We unmuted you, Ted.
Oh, he's not.
The satellite.
It's not active.
It often means tubes.
Well, that's what people think of it. Except in this case, though, I happen to know that the warm audio has no tubes. So what makes the warm audio warm, Ted?
Well, you muted him again.
No, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Okay, Ted, go.
Is the audio better? I cut down a bunch of stuff that was running in the background and it was making my computer run slow.
It's a better. You're.
We can hear you though.
We can understand you.
Okay, I was talking about warm audio, WA. It's Bryce Young's outfit. That was warm. That was good. That was what I was talking about with warm. But I love mine. I love the WA12, which I had, and I just upgraded it to because I wanted it to, because I could. JS, that's right. I got the tone piece and a WA76 compressor limiter on there too. Overkill, but I also needed a nice tax deduction for the business.
There you go. Well put.
That makes sense.
So I muted Ted because it's really choppy, but the warm audio brand, their marketing is brilliant because they're calling their product warm, which is something that everybody seems to want to have something to be warm sounding without often people knowing what
1975 here,
Yeah, if you want to sound warm, get a ribbon mic. That's probably the warmest mic I've ever heard in my entire life. Talking to a DX77DX or a AEA something or other, like those things are super warm, and that's really going to change the sound. But the thing that often adds warmth ends up not being tubes. It ends up being more like transformers and things like that. So
Right.
Cool. Good question. Anything else? Anybody else got any questions? Let's go to everyone and see if I can see anybody waving their arms.
Steve got his arm off first there. So
Steve got his arm off. Steve cut his arm off. All right, I'm going to click on Steve. I'm going to unmute him.
This one's going to cost him an arm and a leg too.
And Steve,
I'm unmuted.
Go for it.
I'm unmuted.
You are.
Okay. Well, right now, as I'm sitting here, I'm actually sitting in a hotel room in New Jersey. I'm going back and forth between different hotels because my apartment in the city isn't ready yet. So when I do my auditions, I have the average mic here. And I'm wondering what are some MacGyver tips that we can use here if you're in a hotel room having to do auditions? Because if you can hear the room sound, there's a little bit of an echo in here.
Duvet. Grab the blanket off the bed, the heavy quilt on the bed, go into the closet, take out the ironing board, and hang
right
it
now?
on there.
I can do it right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Go for it.
Okay,
No, I mean, honestly, are you working sitting or standing?
Both.
Both.
Okay.
Or you could use your suitcase as a
No, here we go.
table.
Okay. This is setting up the duvet. There we go. All right, now.
Okay.
Now wrap that over you. Now talk into the mic.
Is this any better?
Oh, it's problem solved. Next question.
There you go. Okay. Oh, that's attractive.
In there, but
look at that. Oh, wow. So I just heard who said something about a suitcase?
So I would stuff all your clothes and everything soft that you have in the little area that they have to put your clothes. They call it a closet. And then you can use your suitcase as a makeshift table in there.
Yeah.
Which you can then put a chair in front of, facing all these soft clothes and everything that you have.
Okay.
I recorded in 1997 and 98 in an apartment in San Francisco in my front hall closet, my coat closet, 3 things for the Discovery Channel. And they never knew that it wasn't a professional studio.
It's all about damping. Lots of soft materials anywhere within 2 to 3 feet of the microphone. If you have damping with blankets, things like that, it does a surprisingly good job. The bigger the room, the less you have to worry about bass reflex. So if you're in a small space, you're going to have bass reflex problems, bottom end resonating.
You roll them off.
Yeah, and then you have to EQ the bottom end off pretty harsh. If you're in a bigger room, you won't have bass reflex problems, but then you'll have reverberation problems. But a couple of blankets does the trick. Dan said the awning board. Another favorite of mine is using the luggage rack. Stick it on the desk.
Suitcase on.
Stick it on the desk, or stick it on Scott Chambers.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I will.
Scott had his eyeball there. So yeah, unmute Scott and.
Okay, we'll get Scott into the game. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, he's still in the box too.
Yeah, that's right. This thing works pretty well, especially when I'm on the road recording in a hotel room. It doesn't take out all the room noise, but it does help. I picked this up in Atlanta at a voice conference, and it's a favorite of mine now. I really like it.
So how do you use it with the 416?
That's the problem. I understand they're actually coming out with something for the 416. I don't know if I'll use it or not, but it works really well with the VO1A.
The VO1A,
way,
yeah.
Excellent.
We had another guest that joined us. Joining us from New York City, Debbie Irwin. Unmute Debbie.
Way to put me on the spot.
Yeah, well, you come in, you must be recognized.
Oh, okay, well, shout out to everybody, right, from Lower Manhattan. Hey.
Hey there.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
see
joining
you.
us.
All right.
Feels good to be here.
So let's see what you can come up with by the end of the show, Steve. We'll be waiting.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna call them get my bed made. I'm gonna call the housekeeper.
Right on.
There you go. All right. I think Shelly had her hand up next.
Shelly, unmuted. Now go.
Hey guys, my question is not actually technical for a change. Oh my God.
That's good.
I know. So I've been lucky enough to get a couple of new agents recently, which is great. However, I am finding when I have auditions from these new agents, I get them in very different formats. Some of them are like a page long. Some of them are just like 5 or 6 lines long.
Yikes! Whoever's
What is
typing,
that?
mute your mic. I think that would be Scott Chambers. Mute
And
your
some
mic,
of
Scott.
them can be, 2 or 3 words. If I get a really long piece of copy, is there a standard? Can you just do a sample of the script? Do you ask the agent? Are they all different? This is kind of new area for me.
I'll bet Amy and JS probably have a good answer.
Scott, thanks for muting your mic, Scott.
Yeah.
You got 2 people raising their hands there, Amy and 3 people, and Debbie and.
Let's get some people who haven't spoken yet. How about Debbie?
Yeah.
I'm going to unmute you, Debbie. Go.
Well, in my experience, when it comes from an agent, they want the entire thing recorded, and that's what you have to give them. If it's not an agent, then I'd say, okay, you can give them a piece of it, but they typically want to hear the whole thing. That's in my experience being here in New York, auditioning for New York agents, and then also for some agents, around the country, and some, 1 or 2 out of the country.
Good to know. Thanks, Debbie.
I think Larry. Hang on, let me unmute you there, Larry. Go ahead.
One of the things that I do, if it's
Hey, Larry.
Hi, how are you, Miss Shelley?
Long time no see.
I know. If it's exceedingly long, typically I will ask the agent. But let's say it's within a minute or 2 even. Mm-hmm. The thing that I always do is I never read from the beginning. Usually they're paragraphs, and I will mix them up because they're listening to the same thing over and over again from the top. So I'll move that around, and I've actually had some agents thank me for doing that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's still in order, but again, if there's 3 separate things, 1, 2, 3, I'll do 2, 3, 1. Just because that way they listen to something different. Because we all know they're only listening to the first 10, 15 seconds on the first round, and you're either in or out. So that's what I go for.
And you stand out too. Great. Thanks, Larry.
I have a different experience personally. If you can see this, it's Japan Airlines 50th anniversary in-flight commercial. And anyway, this was 4.5 minutes long that they wanted recorded. I did the whole thing, and they did a lift of it, which I made $37,000 off of.
Nice.
Can you lend me 5?
I have a Clorox commercial running right now, national. It's been running for a couple of years. Also lifted. A lot of stuff that's just been. I get a check from the unions, and they say, and I call my agent. I say, "What's that for?" Oh, yeah, they used your audition.
So in other words, when you say lifted for the uninitiated, you're basically saying that they just took your audition because it was recorded correctly, properly, and it was basically what they wanted.
Didn't have to do anymore.
I don't know if everybody knows, I come from a background of working for ad agencies. I was a writer and creative director and producer, and cast a lot of talent, worked with a lot of talent. My thought is this: if you feel as though you have to put what do they call it, a watermark on it, or you can't read the whole thing, then that's somebody you shouldn't be auditioning for.
Yeah.
Story. I know for a fact right now, because I have friends in ad agencies, probably half the stuff that we're reading for is pitch pieces. It is stuff that's not been green lighted. I've seen the same audition come back 6 times now with different direction and different wording on it from one particular place. Microsoft, another one, I read a 3.5-minute piece for them, also wound up category 1, category 2, a whole bunch of stuff. They even did a lift on it for a 30-second piece on TV for a little while. So this stuff happens all the time. But even if they're not going to do a lift, as somebody who's looking for voice talent, I have to hear sometimes what you sound like with the music bed or sound effects, or maybe you're going to be matched up with somebody else, or I need to get the pacing down right. I need to get a sense of, have I overwritten this spot or whatever it might be. So those are all reasons why, as somebody who's cast and hired people, I'd want to hear the whole thing.
Whole thing. Perfect. Okay. Thanks, Jess.
Cool, man. Well, let's take a break real quick so we can air out our armpits. And
all
Our pleasure.
We'll come right back here in just a few minutes.
Get rid of this bird who's chewing on my ear and my mustache.
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be right back here on East West Audio Body Shop.
Don't go anywhere.
VO Studio Tech. Recording made simple.
Hi, I'm Peter McHugh.
This is Jim Tasker from Los Angeles, California.
Hi, this is Bill Ratner in Los Angeles.
Hi, this is Scott Rummel here in Yorba Linda, California.
Hi, my name is Rick Wasserman.
Hi, this is Tom Kane.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Marshall.
Hi, my name is Zurich.
Hi, I'm Mary McKittrick.
Randy Thomas chiming in.
Hi, this is Joe Szymanski.
Hey, this is Rick Robles.
Hi, my name is John Patrick Armstrong.
I was turned on to George by none other than Don LaFontaine, who always swore by his help.
George is absolutely awesome.
ISDN, Source Connect, Phone Patch, FTP, you name it, George has set it up.
It's really the best thing I've ever done for myself. I feel free, safe, fearless, like anything is possible in here.
Unless you like to look for opportunities to waste time, call George.
And he did all of that, long distance over the phone and the internet.
I'm very happy with George, and I cherish him.
Thanks, George. You make it easy.
You know it's true. The best way to learn something, anything, is to completely live it, to breathe it, to experience it, to immerse yourself totally in it. Welcome to VoiceOver Immersion, only at Voice 2014. The VoiceOver International Creative Experience. The Voice Convention is 3 days of complete and total immersion in the craft and the business of voiceover. Voice is all about education, technology, and community. At the Voice Convention, you'll have an opportunity to meet and network with some of the top voiceover professionals and coaches from around the world. There are more than 30 programs and special events scheduled with coaches from the United States, Canada, Germany, the United Kingdom, Argentina, and more. Are you struggling with your auditions? Do you perhaps have some challenges with your equipment? Well, Voice is where you will get your questions answered. Every major niche of voiceover is covered. Audiobooks, promo, commercials, corporate narration, and a lot more. Ask anyone who's been to a voice convention and they'll tell you it's a fire hose of information. It's a life-changing and a career-changing experience. There's no other voiceover event like it.
If you haven't been here, you need to come. It has far exceeded my expectations.
I have learned so much from the presenters at this event.
Whether you're a working pro or just getting started, it doesn't matter. Because at Voice, you can get the tools you need to take your voiceover work not just to the next level, but to a level you've never dreamed of. The VoiceOver International Creative Experience. VoiceOver Immersion. Only at Voice 2014, August 27th through the 30th in Anaheim, California. And please join us in welcoming our premier sponsor, Edge Studio. The VoiceOver International Creative Experience. So what are you waiting for? You know you want to be there. Register today at voice2014.com. Voice 2014, making your voiceover work better than ever.
You're watching East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. They're nice guys, but every time I'm there, they never let me make water. So I'm going to go make water right now. I'm a grown man.
Okay, Dan.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, good. Feedback there. All right, welcome back to our group hangout. And this isn't just a group hangout. This is a crowd hangout. This is like a flash mob.
I know.
This is
I forgot to lock the meeting and stop people from joining. But no, it just makes it more fun. We thought we would just throw everything at it tonight and just see what breaks. And so far, nothing's broken.
No, it seems to be working pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody else has some other things they'd want to talk about, speak now. And Diana Birdsall, why don't you unmute Diana?
Got it.
And you're on, babe.
Hi, guys. All right. So lately I've gotten a few comments from clients who said that the audio I'm sending them sounds over-processed. And what I've been doing is normalizing. I'm using a Sennheiser 416, Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 iMac, and that's it. And I've been using, I'll normalize to -3. I will run it through the RX declicker or decrackler, depending on how much mouth noise there is.
That's
and
what
then
it is.
Add my George Whittam effect stack. So I'm wondering what's the best thing to cut from this collage.
Ask that George Whittam guy for your freaking money back. That's what you should do. No,
should I not normalize? Should I? I mean, what's the best thing?
Well,
to start?
I mean, since I made the stack, I feel qualified to answer this. But
that's supposed to make me sound better, right? And to me, it does sound good. But they're coming back to me. Only some, not a lot, but they're still saying it's sounding over-processed. Can we have the
who is the client or the casting person?
It was the casting.
Oh, casting. Okay.
Well, the creative director.
Oh, creative director. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start off by saying that's a good sign because they know what they're doing enough to tell you that.
Okay.
That's one. Two, that they bothered to even tell you is another good sign. And three, you're finally telling me. You should have told me right away. But I have no way of knowing. I have no way of knowing if somebody's going to like the processing that you do on your audio. I am not a cast.
Is it the RX? Is it the RX that's really messing it up more than anything?
No, not likely. It's probably sounds too compressed to their taste.
Right, sounding too compressed. That's exactly
right.
What they said.
So
should I not normalize and use the other two, or
no? The normalize is an important integral part of the processing sequence.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But you can go into there and you can just uncheck the limiter, for example, the very last checkbox. When you open the stack, there'll be a sequence of things all with checks.
Right.
Uncheck the limiter.
Okay.
Done. That's probably really all you need to do. If they're really still being a pain in the neck, you can always uncheck the dynamics processor. But I'm using no more than 2 to 1 compressor. It's not very much. So it's probably mostly the limiter maybe that they're hearing is my best guess.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's when I make these things, it's like I send them off to people and I never hear from most people ever again.
Right.
So I really don't know, honestly, if people, I mean, I hear good things. I hear people say, oh, it's sounding great. Or I'm hearing people that they're booking, it does work, but it's rare that I get somebody to come back and get feedback from who they're auditioning for to say that it sounds overprocessed. So if that's what you're hearing from them, then it's important for me to hear it. So I'm glad you brought it up because, again, I don't know. I don't know what people are saying, thinking, hearing. That means they're probably listening to it.
Wave, George?
What's that?
Is she using Twisted Wave?
Yes.
Stack and Twisted Wave? Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, for some people's taste, the processing may be a little bit too much. And, I do hundreds of these, probably a year. And, I start with a template. I don't start from scratch every time. But I never really know for sure if I'm totally on target or not. And I'm going by what, to me and my tastes, sounds good. But I don't want it to sound overprocessed. So if your casting director is saying that, maybe we should do a revise. So send me another clip, and I'll be happy to tweak the stack and send it back to you and just give you an adjusted version. Maybe a second version that's less processing, so to speak, that you can use.
Okay.
And remember, everybody's different. Everybody listens to it different. And this guy might be listening to it on a pair of computer speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's more likely he's listening to it in an actual studio because...
Yeah, it's a production studio.
You wouldn't notice it in a pair of crap. The whole point of the stack is to make it sound good on crappy speakers.
Right.
So if they are in an actual studio, and you're saying that they happen to be...
Yes.
In this case, it's rare that you get casted by someone in a studio. But if that's the case, then yes, in that situation, they will think that there's too much processing. So cool.
One more question before you mute me again. All right. So I'm new to the 416 and just very recently, over the last couple of weeks, I'm getting some what sounds like, I don't know how to describe it other than sort of a strange echo or a reverb a little bit. And it's so random that I can't figure out why in the world that would happen. I mean, obviously my chain is very short.
Mm-hmm. Now this is sounding like car talk.
I know.
Right?
I'm betting it's that declicker, George.
It could be, because any heavy duty processor like that, declicker decracklers are an algorithm that's very complicated, and it's trying to do some magic, and sometimes the magic just doesn't.
It's not, but this is before I even add any processing whatsoever.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
Just when I do the audition, I sit down and I listen to it, and I'm like, "Oh, it's that shh," that kind of.
Oh, are you
sound.
hearing like a crackly echo?
Not crackle, just like brushing up against the mic or something.
Wow.
We have to really hear that to make a total judgment on that.
Yeah.
Send it over.
Okay,
We'll listen
you
to
can
it.
hear me now.
Thanks for they're great questions. Then send us a sample over. Put it in Dan's specimen cup.
Dan's specimen cup.
Yeah, over homevoiceoverstudio.com, about 2/3 of the way down the page, there's a specimen cup. Just click on that. You can drop your audio in there.
Larry.
Hey, real quick, Diana, what are you wearing when you record?
Oh, yeah, just really loose clothing.
Because I can't wear a shirt like this, because I notice on the 416, man, it's like it picks up the, like this sound of this thing moving. Because I'm in there doing this,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm really conscious
Just checking.
of that. Thank you. Yes.
All right, cool.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Sure. Thank you.
Next topic. Ed, you look like you're asleep up there. Come on.
Anybody else bring anything tonight that they're thinking they want to share with us?
You came all this way.
Is that Susan? Is that Susan, the Susan? Susan?
Yeah.
Hey, Susan. We didn't get to introduce you tonight. I didn't see you in the bottom of the list.
Well, she doesn't have her cam on.
I don't have my camera on because my camera is broken.
Oh, no.
So I'm sorry. So there you go.
Thanks for
But
coming in.
I do
there.
have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I have a question about like terabytes and how many to use and figuring out what I need to use for storage, and should I let a cloud service do all my backups? Not do all my backups, but hang on to my backups. Should I use a different type of system? Any advice, anything would be very much appreciated.
Yes and yes.
Yeah. So what was the second question? I get. What's the first question?
Like what kind of brand, or who should I, where should I get it besides like Fry's or whatever? Should I do something specifically related to, having my backups or anything that I need to know major? Because, in the past clients, it's usually one-off kind of situations. Most people, they might use me for something and then I'm on to somebody else. I don't have, except for 3, any kind, and it's sporadic, long-term clients, customers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Well, I use whatever is cheap over at at Best Buy or whatever. Some Seagates. People say Seagates are so. Western Digitals might be a little bit more sturdy. Things along those lines. But if you throw it on the cloud, you're at the mercy of that cloud, but they're all getting pretty good, and they're using high density servers, and they do a pretty good job of storing it. But I would say store it on an external, 1 or 3. I have a 4 terabyte drive in here right now, and so from every computer I've ever had, it's all been mounting up into these drives, and so I like putting it on a hard drive and putting it on a separate cloud server somewhere. And so you have at least 2 to 3 backup copies of everything and well cataloged.
If you really don't want to lose it, you need to have 2 backups.
Yeah. Anthony, I think Anthony who's very good at this kind of thing.
Go ahead, Anthony. Let me unmute.
And Cliff did help me too. So thank you, Cliff.
Oh, sorry. I muted you and then unmute. Go ahead, Anthony.
Anthony.
I would just say I am a huge believer in the Department of Redundancy department. You need to have multiple backups of everything. Doug in the Turkel in the chat room pointed out Crash Plan. Crash Plan, that's what I use. Carbonite, any of those are great to have. Also, of course, you've got Dropbox, Copy.com. I like Box.com personally because as a former IT guy, I just, if I were an IT guy evaluating these services, I would pick Box.com. That's me.
Good to know.
And I've noticed that other IT guys concur. The other thing is, and I was really surprised, this really caught me off guard, but my wireless router died a month or two ago, and I bought a Netgear N600 is the model. And it's got a USB port on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can plug in a drive and have your own little NAS or network attached storage, like right there on your home network. So there's no reason you couldn't have it on the cloud. You couldn't have it on an automated backup, and as well as purposely copying it over to your own network attached storage. And that'll work with both Mac, PC, Linux, whatever. So, I was really impressed with that. I mean, check your internet router. Maybe it has a USB slot.
I found that it's really hit or miss with those because sometimes they make you reformat the drive in some weird format like ext3 or something weird. It's not as plug and play.
Well, that's not weird if you're a Linux guy.
Yeah. So
right, Jerry?
For the 99...
I see a thumbs up.
Raise your hand.
But if your hard drives are from a Mac or a PC and you want if you want it to be plug and play, the most plug and play probably if you're an Apple user is probably an Airport Extreme, and you can plug a USB drive you've already been using into that, and it'll just work. But I'm a big believer in local backup and cloud backup. I use CrashPlan. I use TeamViewer. I use Time Machine for my local backups. If you don't want to use Time Machine, you can use CrashPlan for both local and cloud. If you're think the NSA is after you, don't have to use the cloud. You can even back up to a friend's computer in another city or another state privately, like your own private off-site storage. You can have two friends back up between each other's computers over the internet. So there's all kinds of fun ways you can use CrashPlan.
Funny you say that. My wireless access points are NSA 1 and NSA 2. So just to freak out my neighbors.
I think Steve's his hand's going to fall off unless we call on him here.
Hang on, I'm going to unmute him. Steve, go.
How y'all doing? One of the things that I also do is you've got what's called SSDs, which are solid state disks. And I have actually 2 disks hanging off my computer right now. One is just your regular external hard drive. One is an external SSD. And what I do with that is whenever I make a recording or whenever I go through a training session or whatever, I have this file sync program, and it goes to each one of them. And I use the SSD as sort of nearline storage, so to speak. It's the thing that I work off of. The one that is not solid state is the one that I use for archival purposes. SSD is much, much quicker than non-SSD. So
SSDs are very expensive per gigabyte. So like you can get a 500. Okay, you can get a 1 terabyte hard drive for $50, or a 1 terabyte SSD for $500. So you buy SSDs purely for performance, like speed, and then you use hard drives for offline storage, archiving, things like that. I have another hard drive that's on my machine that I call my archive drive. And so when my main drive that I use for audio and video primarily gets filled up, I drag and drop stuff into the archive drive. But it's already been backed up on Time Machine, backed up in the cloud, all that stuff. So I live in a flood zone. I mean, between the earthquakes and the tsunamis and the wildfires, if I have to leave my house like in 5 minutes, I want to get all my data back. So we have probably 5 to 6 terabytes of stuff in the cloud. Every photo my wife's ever taken, every video we've ever ripped off of our DVDs, every picture of Ella growing up, everything is in the cloud. We could get it back. Long-winded answer. Did that help answer any questions, Susan?
I think JS has one brief comment.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be brief. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, JS.
I would just say, as far as SSDs are concerned, everyone should consider using that as a boot drive.
Yeah, definitely.
And I have a RAID 0 drive that is an older one. It's a 2 terabyte RAID 0 drive, and I run a Kronos which is a backup software.
Mm-hmm.
Going from an SSD across a USB 3.0 bus,
Mm-hmm.
it is lightning fast. I believe USB 3 and Thunderbolt are going to be game changers as far as people really getting back to making decisions to do local backup. The
Right.
clouds made a lot of sense because they worked in the background, and USB 2 is kind of slow for moving huge amounts of data.
Yeah.
But I use it's the same one you use, George. The
Crash
cloud
Plan.
backup.
Crash Plan.
Cloud backup, but I can't remember the name of it.
Crash Plan.
Crash. Thank you. Yeah, I met them at the Mac World, and they gave me a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get just for like regular storage, for example. Well, I don't want to take this off because everything will crash. But you can buy 2 terabyte USB 3.0 drives at Costco now for $129, and they're portable. And they are backward compatible to USB 2.0. So
Yeah, the
you know,
little
if you
ones
are-
the size of a cell phone. Those little portable ones.
Exactly. So I use that primarily, especially for traveling and stuff. And off the USB 3.0 bus, that alone, even though it's a 5,200 RPM drive, I get data transfer rates as high as 120 Mbps.
Yeah.
It averages out to about 75 or 80. But if you compare that to USB 2.0 speeds, it's night and day. So
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
now
it-
Jerry Reed he's mentioning he does some stuff. Why don't you unmute Jerry and he can
Got
tell
it.
us all he does.
Jerry, go.
Well, I keep 3 going most of the time. I have any incremental or changes are automatically backed up to the cloud using a service called Spider Oak, which is a syncing kind of a backup service. And it's also encrypted, so nobody can get it into it, even the NSA. And then I keep 1 USB drive under the backseat of my car, and one is in my camera bag. And I am a big avid photographer, so my camera bag goes with me wherever I go, everywhere. So it's always with me, and that's the 3 copies.
And what do you use to synchronize all those files?
It's just the sneaker network.
So you have to remember to, now I got to copy over these new
No,
files.
I just rotate them.
Oh, I see.
And I'll keep the one in my camera bag the most up to date, and then the one in the backseat of my car is like every week is an incremental. But the Spider Oak gets everything that changes from day to day.
Right. So if you're highly disciplined, like Jerry, it's a good idea to do it Jerry's way. But if you're not disciplined, maybe not.
Cliff Zellman in the chat room is also making a good point about you can use your own FTP to store stuff. Depends on your hosting service, but a lot of people are given a ton of storage. So
The bottom line here is that, I used to sell insurance, back up everything, make several copies. I think that's pretty much the bottom line, and do it in several places, where you can get access to it quickly. I've got a 3 terabyte drive that's now sitting on my bookshelf that's full. So I know when I have to go back to older stuff, I know it's there and it's in a safe place. It's not going to get knocked around a lot. So that's the other thing.
I've got a
then, of
pile
course, they
of
have
hard drives.
RAIDs too, where you can stack a whole bunch of stuff together and create a
RAIDs they're scary. Been there, done that. Cool. Let's take another quick break, and then we'll come back to grab 1 or 2 more questions from the chat room. And when we come back, we'll also plug our buddy Harlan.
Absolutely.
So stand by, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
VoiceOver Extra, the voiceover industry's online news, education, and resource center 24/7. Hundreds, probably thousands of free how-to articles for voiceover success, ranging from home studio to voice acting to business. A free voiceover industry directory, calendar of industry events, resource links, a store, and much more. Bi-monthly webinars on all topics of voiceover, free subscriptions to newsletters, reports, announcements, daily news, and features at voiceoverextra.com.
Now back to EWABS. Thank Dan and George's wives. For what? You have no idea. Now, Here's Dan and George.
Do things in a bunch at one time. It could take hours to do it.
Yeah. All right, we're back.
We are back.
We are back on East West Audio Body Shop, and since we've got all of you here right now, and JS with no pants,
I'm wearing red shorts.
I can see that. We have to talk about our good buddy Harlan Hogan because
yay, Harlan! Woo.
He makes great stuff. He sells great stuff. All you got to do is go over to voiceoveressentials.com and see all of his stuff. And you can find out that now Steve's got his Harlan Hogan Signature Series headphones. Anyone there ever used the VO1A and the VoiceOver enhanced microphone? And, of course, all the other great stuff he has over there. The reason you need to go over to VoiceOver Essentials is because Harlan knows VoiceOver. He's been doing it all of our combined ages. So
yeah,
he knows VoiceOver since before recording. He taught Edison how to do it. So he knows this stuff. He's going to kill me, isn't he?
If he would just listen to the show, he could kill you.
If only he would do that.
He's too busy making new cool products.
And processing all your orders. Great customer service.
Yeah.
I know he's got a special running in, I think it was like this weekend, or to get a Portabooth Pro or a Portabooth Plus.
Oh, the case, the travel bag. Yeah, he had a special.
The travel bag, which is a great thing because not only does it carry your Portabooth Plus, but it can fit all of your equipment. If it's just a short weekend, all of your stuff, especially if you're a woman who has little tiny things that just fold into a tiny little place, you can shove it all into one pocket.
Yep.
And that's all you have to carry on the plane with you. And your mic goes in there, your cables go in there, and you're all set. And so if you want the best stuff, you want stuff that is made for voiceover, not for making music, for making voiceover, go over to voiceoveressentials.com and tell them that Dan and George sent you over there.
Yeah, if you like personalized customer service, I mean, it's the best of both worlds. It's like having a local shop that you can walk in the front door and talk to the shop owner, but a virtual version. I mean, not all of us are going to be lucky enough to have an experienced voice actor who runs a retail store in their neighborhood. So this is by far the best thing. So thanks, Harlan.
You go into Banjo Emporium, none of them do voiceover.
Yeah, we all know that if you better know what you want before you walk in the door at the Banjo Emporium. That is for sure.
Right.
So before thanks, Harlan, man. Thank you very much. Before we wrap up the night, let me just thank my employers, Edge Studio, too. I didn't really get a plug in for them tonight, but
just point to the sign. And
I'm pointing to the sign, Edge Studio, great coaching resources over there. They sponsor everything. You're not a voice actor if you haven't heard of Edge Studio by now, right? I mean, they're awesome, but they're going to be key sponsors at the Voice 2014 event. They are sponsoring the Poker Classic. The Poker Classic. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're going to be in LA, what is it, the 4th weekend or 3rd weekend of August? Come to the Poker Classic that's raising money for the Delafontaine VoiceOver Lab. More information at sagfoundation.org. Anybody else in the chat room want to give parting shots? Last thing you want to say? Raise your hand, Dan. Tell me if anybody raises their hand.
Shelley has raised her hand.
Okay, I'm unmuting Shelley. Shelley, go.
Just very quickly, is anybody from Edge going to FaffCon? Do you know? Are you going?
I'm not going, but I know for sure. I'm pretty sure that David goes to every
David's
one
going?
of them. He always has gone to them, so I'm pretty sure David will be there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'll be there.
I missed him. Oh, Dan's going.
And Dan's going to be there?
Yes, I'll be there.
Yay.
But I'm not with Edge. I just know them.
You know them. You know people.
You know them. I missed David in Vegas, so I'm glad he's going.
Cool. Yeah, David's a great guy. I think he kind of matches my sensibilities and trying to be neutral, but having an educated opinion at the same time. And, I think he brings a lot to the table. So if you get a chance to hear him speak, I'd say go for it.
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else want to slip something in at the end here?
Say something. Dave, you've been very quiet.
Does Dave want to?
Dave, let's abuse him for a little while.
Dave, you're unmuted, my friend.
The floor is yours.
And
he's unmuted, but his mic is not on.
All right. We'll try you next time, Dave.
All right.
Who else
Ed,
didn't get
you've
to
been
speak
sleeping
tonight?
there in the corner for the last half hour. Say something.
Literally? Has he been?
He's sort of he's like.
Not true. I'm very comfortable. I'm like a sponge. I'm sopping it all up. This is golden, and I'm just taking it all in.
Thanks, man. Thanks for being part of the.
Well, while I got him there, you'll notice that he has a studio suit behind him.
Oh yes.
Tell us a little bit about how you set up your studio suit.
Well, since I use it in my office, I don't want it up. What do you have to say, JS? Unmute JS.
You're on. Go ahead. We'll get to it.
Well, I don't want it up all the time. So I have it strung like curtains.
Oh, cool.
And for example, this wall over here goes behind the door. This over here is out of the way over there. The ones behind me go off over by the window, and then I just tie them up and they look like curtains. When I need them, I just roll them out, just pull them out, just like a curtain. And I can also use part of them, which I'm using right now, which is fairly effective. But if I need to be completely dead, I can totally surround myself. Also, there is not one parallel surface.
Excellent.
That really works awesome.
Angle. Yeah, and so I have total control.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Studio Suit. We can completely configure it any way we want. Ed's using it with curtain hangers. You can mount it on a wall. You can put it on a slide track, which is really cool. Something like that works great in an office because you can just slide it out of the way, and it's just wrap it up and put like a little tassel on it. It could be like a decoration in there.
That's exactly what I do.
There was a chat room question. There's a chat room question from Gray in Asia. He said, got a question from Asia. And
right.
I think he asked it earlier in the chat. So I'm going to scroll up and see if I can find it. Gray said, oh yeah, no way am I going to find it. Too many people talking in the chat room. So Gray, if you're actually listening and looking at the chat room, please type your question in
setting
again.
up. He put in there, George. I asked you about setting up my studio with a mixer versus an interface. I'm very comfortable with the mixer, so I want to understand the difference.
Well, that's kind of apples and oranges. So, I mean, a mixer is a way to combine signals and route signals from one place to another. So if you're used to using a mixer, no reason to stop. But you still need a way to get analog audio into the computer, and that's where the interface comes from. Or comes in. So whatever you use as your interface, if you're using a mixer already and you've already got a preamp and all that stuff in the chain built into the mixer or whatnot, you don't need much in the way of an interface. All it's doing is converting from analog to digital. If you don't like money and you want to give it to big corporations, then buy the most expensive converter you can. Get an Apogee, get an RME, go nuts, Prism, something. Otherwise, if you're sane and you're cheap like me, just get like a Scarlett 2i2, or let's see, you said you're in Asia. I don't know what you're going to be able to find easily in Asia. Probably the Focusrite stuff's pretty readily available since it's a UK company. Lexicon Alphas, I'm a big fan of them for $60. I think they work really well. And even the Behringer UCA 202, it's a $30 or $40 interface, but if you just need 16-bit, analog to digital, in and out, these things work. I've plugged them into many studio mixers and I've used them with great success. So that's really what you're talking about here. But you don't need to replace your mixer with the interface unless you want to get away from the mixer interface. So
what are you mixing?
Yeah, what are you mixing, I guess is the question. I never really even, unless I'm doing a live show like I am now, I'm using a mixer because I got to combine the audio from everybody in our chat room with myself and everything else. But in most cases, the mixer is really not necessary unless you're just using it as a way to route audio. So, and Devox just reposted Gray's question again. I think we already got that. Thanks, Devox. Yeah. So, so I hope that answers your question. Some mixers even have interfaces in it. I have a Allen & Heath XB10, and it has the USB audio interface built in. Yep. So it's a 2-in-1 or 2 for. Just wanted to know why I would have to put the interface. I do route audio. Why I would have to put the interface. I do route audio. The English didn't translate there well. Sorry, Gray. Try that again. I'll try to. I go directly from my Mackie to my computer. Oh, I see.
Well, so USB. It's a USB mixer.
If it's a USB mixer, that's great. If not, if you're just using the line in on the computer, the little green jack, that's a crapshoot. You might be lucky enough to get clean audio, but it's rare that the built-in sound device of the computer itself is really low noise and free of interference. So I rarely recommend going that route. You might get lucky. I know on my Mac Mini, right now you guys are hearing me through, actually no, you're not hearing me, but you're hearing Dan and the whole chat room through the built-in line input of my Mac Mini. Happens to be clean, so I'm using it. I just needed another input, but I wouldn't use that. So if you're using an M Audio sound card, we're getting details fed to us in little bite-sized pieces. Right. So now Gray's saying I'm using an M Audio card. Okay, so if you have an internal sound card on the computer, you're good. You're covered.
You're good. Never mind.
Done. All right. Anybody else have anything before we poke a fork in this thing? Here? See anybody raising hands? All right.
Well, maybe we should just go around the horn.
Anybody got a plug? Let's go down the list. Anthony, you got a plug?
Oh, there we go. Plug like. You got
a podcast? Anything you want to plug or something you're working on?
Brand new site. There's lots of people doing this, but my daughter and I are starting to do it as well. myaudioeditor.com. So editing for audiobooks and e-learning, especially. That's there you go. There's my plug.
Good plug. Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you guys for the great job that you do.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Carrie, you got a plug for us? Type it in the chat room and I'll read it out loud. Because we can't hear him. Dave Smith, you got a plug? Anything you want to tell us about?
No, just I got my headset on now. You should be hearing my audio.
Sounds good.
We hear you.
Okay.
Got a website?
My M audio wasn't hooked up. Anyway, no plugs, but got a real quick question. The iPad Air versus Mini. I'm a little concerned about the Mini being too small.
Yeah, it really comes down to how many pixels you want to see on the screen.
Yeah, really.
So if you want more pixels, then go with the Air.
That's what I'm going to do.
There's also the Retina Mini, which means you better have really good eyesight. You use the Retina Mini because
that's what I was leaning to. I'm going to go there instead. Yeah. For Dan, real quick, the Infidel and Source Connect with you and Corvo, I couldn't attend. Is there a way that I can get the video of that?
Yeah, just write to John Florian over at VoiceOver Extra and tell him you want that, and he will set you up with that.
That's all I got. Hey, the quality of this is much better than the Hangouts and all that. I like this a lot.
It's been great. Thanks for joining us. Debbie Irwin, do you have anything to plug? A website? Anything else?
No, I'm consumed with this script that I've just been sent, and one of the words looks like it's about 15 letters long, so I'm distracted right
Good luck.
now. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you very much, guys.
See you
As
later.
always, lots of fun.
Edward, do you have anything to plug?
No, nothing to plug. My website's under construction. I had a fight with Facebook, so I had to delete my page, create a new persona, and then create a new page so that my professional name stays apart from my personal Facebook page. So now when I log into Facebook, I have to log in as one person or another person.
No fun.
They don't make it easy.
Good luck to you, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks. This has been great. It's absolutely painless. You got to stay with this.
I will.
format.
I will.
We are.
Thanks again to James and Penny who brought it to our attention. JS, you got anything to plug, buddy?
Well, for all you crazy cool cats that might be in Vegas for the next few weeks, I'll be performing with Frank, Sammy, and Dino, doing all your favorites. Cuckoo-ca-choo.
Thanks, man. Larry, got anything to plug? A podcast? Anything else?
Yeah.
You muted me. There, come back. All right,
We're having mute battles.
It's
Go,
like
Larry.
trying to open the door.
Yeah.
yeah, the door thing. Actually, in September, I'm going to do a webinar with John Florian for all the newbies out there for 0 to full time. What's it going to take? And as a bonus, you get the webinar which I created, which is called "How to Organize Your Computer for VoiceOver and for Life." And that's going to happen in September, so keep your ears open for that. And I'm probably going to do an Audacity 101 and an Audacity 102 in the next probably 5 weeks. So, that's what's coming up. They can always go to my website and check it out. My website is larryhudsonvo.com. And if you click on the VO Heaven tab, it'll give you the information. That's where.
Thanks, Larry. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us. Scott, parting shots.
Yeah, scottchambersvo.com and then facebook.com/scottchambersvo. That's all I have.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Shelley.
Yes, I have something to plug too.
Plug away.
Can you hear me? Okay, I've just been doing a very large interactive website for a client in Bulgaria. It's called Tales with Gigi. And I am a voice of an animated parrot. And it tells lots and lots of fairy tales from all over the world. It's huge. It's being launched in the next couple of weeks. I've been working with a US voiceover as well. So they've done it in American English and British English. And it's everywhere. And it's www.talesofgigi.com. Check it out.
Awesome. Thank you. And we've got, come on, I'm running out of clicks. Steve Gonzalez.
Steven Gonzalez VO.com.
With a V or a PH?
With a V. Yeah, thank you. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you name it.
Thanks, man. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Steve, I think, is next.
Let's see what Steve's came up with during the last half hour. Steve Tardio?
Yeah. Housekeeping just came and gave me another blanket, so I think I'll be good for my auditions tomorrow.
Good.
Let's see. I've just finished the latest audio book. These are great books for children. It's a series called Alien in My Pocket, and it teaches them science. They're about 6 to 10 years old for these books, and just finished the 4th one out of the series. So check me out on audible.com. Just type in Steve Tardio. And I just finished a book for tweens, I guess you'd call it. It's called Minion. Again, check it out on audible.com. That one's about superheroes. So stevetardio.com.
Very cool.
Thank you, man. Well, I'm going to check that out because I got a daughter who's going to be 6 in February, and
they're great. They're great books. They're a lot of fun. And actually, I'm learning a little something about science. The author's name is Nate Ball, and he's got, I think, a series on PBS teaching science to kids.
Very cool.
Thank you, man.
Yep,
I actually have something to plug.
Dan, plug away.
Yeah, no. If you get the chance to see the documentary J Street Challenge, it's playing all over the country and has gotten a lot of press all over the world and a lot of different publications, and it's an interesting documentary about some political stuff that I tend to think is really important. But
are you a voice
like
on it?
What?
You're a voice on it?
I narrate it. Alan Dershowitz is in it, and a few other well-known people talking about J Street. And if you don't know what J Street is, go watch the documentary.
That's right. Google it.
That's right. JStreetChallenge.com. And then I do this show on Monday nights with some guy in Santa Monica.
Yeah, I'm even sweating tonight.
Yeah,
I want to get out of here.
Warm here too.
But thanks for all the donors as usual. Eric Aragoni, you know who you are, and we've had a few others come in this week. Thanks you guys for those. They have the automatic donations going on. If you want to be one of our little contributors to the show, we'd love to have you. Even $1 can be donated automatically through our donation link on EWABS.com.
Right. And we have clickers still available.
Yeah.
The box is starting to dwindle.
It's dwindling? That means it's time to come up with a new logo, which we're dragging our feet on.
Which we're working on. But we still have UAB clickers and $5. And I actually do get around to sending them out, and everybody who's ordered one so far should have one in their
Scott's showing his.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah. We've got them in green, purple, blue, and red.
Excellent.
So,
and we already congratulated Rebecca last week, but Rebecca Davis won.
We can congratulate her.
She won the Don LaFontaine Spirit Award and got a Don LaFontaine Source Connect Pro license given to her as part of the prize. How cool is that? Man? That's some mojo right there. Clickers and then these EWABS Essentials, they are being produced. I don't even know how many we have. I got to look on there and see how many.
Go on the channel and check them out.
Yeah, go check out. There's a playlist on there for EWABS Essentials. Channel is youtube.com/EWABS. Oh crap. EWABS show.
Don't type in
EWABS show. One word. And next week, do we have our guest booked? Actually, I think we do.
I do believe we do. I'm just trying to remember who it is.
It's no, isn't it Bob Merkel?
Oh, Bob Merkel's going to be joining us. Yeah.
Awesome. He's been on before, so hopefully he's got a lot of cool stuff.
He's updated the program and he's doing all sorts of cool things with it. So we're going to talk about that.
That's great.
So if you're interested in Voice Sam, then check us out next week. And, of course, we have to thank our wives who put up with this stuff every Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
And all of your wives and husbands and significant others who put up with you on Monday night.
That's right. Going into your office by yourself.
I'd like to thank George for doing all the engineering tonight and flawless as usual.
Thank you, Dan. Nearly flawless is my motto.
Yes. And... and we'd like to thank Zoom for making this all possible because, boy, this looks and sounds great, and we can get up to 25 people in here. So if we ever want to do, like webinars or something like that, this is going to be the way to do it.
We're paying to use it, but I'll plug them anyway. It's so good. Zoom.us. Check it out. Pretty cool.
Excellent program.
Thanks, wives. Thanks, Kathy. Our producer, Catherine Curden. Thank you for helping
Anthony
get things
does
together.
A fabulous job in the chat room every week.
Yep. Jack DeGolia has been doing those amazing show notes that are indexed and posting them everywhere so nobody misses a single thing.
And Tim McKean, who's been doing the VoiceOver Essentials editing.
Yep. And Lee Penny, who's been doing the Twisted Wave, or not Twisted Wave. I have Twisted Wave on the brain.
Doing the podcast.
He's been doing the podcast. Yes. Thank you, Lee.
Just to show you that we can't do it all alone as much as we
sure
want.
Can't. These guys are all volunteering. So thank you for your helps, everybody. Everybody, thank you.
But thanks for everyone for joining us tonight. Steve, Ed, JS, Anthony, Shelley, Steve, Scott, Larry, Debbie, Dave Smith, Carrie, who just wasn't, we couldn't hear her, but we know it there. Okay. I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West. With
Ella
Whittam in the West.
Unmute everybody.
Hey, Ella.
Okay, I'm going to unmute everybody. Here we go.
And together we are
East
West Audio Shop.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, Ella.
Hey,
Good night.
To share a laugh or
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys. Good night.
Cheers.
Good night.
Bye.